Hello everyone, this is Ginger Pana. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here to do a project share of some things that I made using the Beebeecraft products that they had sent me. I'm participating in their YouTube program. I will link my unboxing video below in the description box. Watch that video, and in there I have a link to all the products that Beebeecraft had sent me. So here goes. So one of the products that I had gotten from them was this flower embellishment kit. So it came in this little plastic box. I love the containers that they send their products in. So in here, it's kind of all messed up right now because I went through it. But they sent all different types of things that you could use to make flowers or jewelry. I think it was called a hair accessory kit. So they sent some alligator clips, some black ones. So I have to think of what I want to make with those. But anyways, I love these. When I saw this in their products, I wanted to use this as my flower centers. Okay. So they sent all different kinds of centers. So here's another one. So as you can see to my left, I used some of the materials to make bowl centers. Okay, so I didn't do any flowers, but I used some felt bowl die cuts that I had in my stash, and I decided to decorate them using the Beebeecraft hair accessory kit. Okay, so now these felt flowers I got maybe about a year ago from AliExpress. And here is kind of how it looks like. So it comes in all of these cutouts. And there was maybe about 24 bowls. It came in all different colors, and so it's already pre-cut with you have to make the bowl and the backing piece, and it also gave you the wrap for the center of the bowl. Okay, so I used some of the colors here. I pulled it out. So here's the blue one. So I used this bronze metal. They're all metal. So I used this metal flower, this metal center, and a pearl. So all of these pieces came from the kit, the hair accessory kit. Okay, so I just layered them and I glued them all together, and I made this center for the bowl. So I put the bowl together, but I used two jump rings here so that I can either add a clasp at the top and some dangles, or make this in the middle or at the end. And if I don't use both of these jump rings, and I can always take them out easily. Okay, so that is my bowl centers. This one is using the pretty flower center like this cluster. And so I decorated it using, just glued it onto this bowl here. And then this one is this one is really pretty. This bowl center. Okay, and this yellow one. So this one I added a lobster clasp on the top, so you could use it as a dangle, but I didn't do anything with it. I had this bowl done a while ago when I first got the die cuts, and I didn't do anything with it. So I decided, this was my first one, I thought, oh, these would make these metal pieces would make beautiful centers for the bowls. Okay, and then I put together the other three here, and I added the different centers that you see here. Okay, so that is my first project share. So I'm going to put all these back. See, so it comes with even the pearl centers. So it comes in two different pearls. It comes with stamens, okay, that you can string through or thread through the flower centers. And it came with these two color flowers. These are metal. This is another metal piece. It came in gold and silver. Okay, and then it also came with the alligator clips. Okay, so if I do use this kit again, I will come back and share it with you. So it all fit right here in this little box. So I can just put it in my container. Okay, so next I wanted to show you is this. I already put it in this little container, and I will share these containers with you. They came with a kit that I got from Harbor Freight, I believe. But I'll do another haul because I started to buy a lot of little containers. So I wanted to share, and some other things. I've been kind of going online crazy during this pandemic, which is bad because I'm spending money. But anyways, I got from Beebeecraft these little crystal, can you see it? It's like bead spacers. Okay, so I used these in, and they came with a lot. I think they were 200, and I might have used about half already. So first off, I used and I made these little dangles with beads. Now I followed a tutorial, and I'll link her tutorial down below. And oh my gosh, you see when I don't write things down? Was it Buzzing with V? I'm so sorry. I can't remember now who. They had a really great she had a really great tutorial on how to do the wire wraps up here. Okay, so I will link them below, but as you can see, in between of my beads I put the bead spacers in there. Okay, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do a video share, and hopefully it'll work as a tutorial. I'm gonna share with you some of the bottoms that I made. Okay, because I just used wire, and I didn't have those certain types of bead, those wires that you put your beads, string your beads on. So I saw some people on YouTube and Pinterest that did different types of I guess they're called head pins. Okay, so I'll come back and share that in another video. So I used some of the bead spacers in here, and I also made some stretchy bracelets, and there are some great tutorials on YouTube. The most recent was I think Anna from Serenity Creations. She did tutorials on how to do stretchy bracelets, so I followed a tutorial from hers. I know Creative Young Mama years ago also made some stretchy bracelets, so I'll link the videos that I watched, but you can always search for stretchy bracelets and there are many tutorials out there. So I just used the beads that I had in my stash, and I'm organizing my beads, so hopefully in the end I'll be able to better find them. And so I used the bead spacers here, and some of them I used one in between each bead, and some I used two. And I think in Anna's video she showed that she had used two spacers between each bead, and they look really lovely. Oh, I know the other crafter who did them is Nurse Tara. I think Nurse Tara 04, but I'll link those videos that I watched below. And as you can see, I added a dangle on each one of these stretchy bracelets. So this is kind of like a stackable bracelet, so you can either wear them separately or you can wear them as a stacked, like such. Okay, so you can either have your dangles on the bottom or you can put the dangles on the top, and then you can stagger them so they shake different places. Okay, so this is my stretchy bracelets, and I use the let's see, I have a lot of stretchy elasticity. So this one is from Beetalon. So this one is the 0.8 millimeter, and this one is really thick. I really like this one, and I've played before with the 0.5 millimeter. Okay, and I found in my stash, I think, this brand, and I got this years and years ago. I'm not sure if they even make this brand anymore, but this is also an 8 millimeter. Okay, so I used that to do my stretchy, and I just used charms and beads that I had in my stash, but I wanted to feature the crystal bead spacers. Okay, So moving on, I also got this. So I got this memory wire, and it came with 300 loops. So as you can see, this bag is full of memory wire. Okay, and then you can cut off a piece of memory wire to make your bracelet. So this one, I like to use either 3 or 4 loops in my bracelets. So this one has 3. Now memory wire, if you are not familiar with using it, they're on the thicker side, so you really have to use some muscle when you use your round nose pliers. Okay, let me find what I've been using. So what I did was I used my round nose pliers. Okay, and that's what I used to bend the ends of my memory wire. So you really have to put some muscle in it because it's really hard to bend. Okay, but it's possible. Okay, so I made 2 loops at each end, and then I made my next project. Now, if also when you cut your memory wire, you have to make sure you use a memory wire cutter. So it kind of looks like this. Okay, so you can't use one of your flush cut. It kind of ruins the tip. So these are made to cut memory wire. Okay, so it looks like the tip looks like this. Okay, and it's really easy. All you do is squeeze and it cuts it right there. And I think it has something to do with how it cuts it straight instead of at an angle where it's sharp. Okay, so with that, I made, let me take off my stretchy bracelets. I made this. So I made another bracelet. So for this one, you have to make the loop on one end, and then you start stringing in all your beads, and then when you're done you do the other end. See? And then I hung some dangles that I had in my stash, and so you put it on like this. Okay, so this one has a butterfly and a little heart. I'm not a butterfly, a dragonfly and a heart. Okay, and on the other end, I have a cross and another white heart. Okay, so I just used beads in my stash, and so these beads, these stars are from Daiso. They came in a set of all different variegated colors, and these pearls, I just had them in my stash, so I just used 2 sizes. And at 2 places I did the darker pinks with this texture on it and darker stars. Okay, and then I finished it off using the same pattern as the rest. Okay, so you can either use it like this. So it depends. I think I would wear it on the top like this so people can see the different colors. Okay, so I love my bracelet. And I made them. I have a video and I'll list it below using memory wire, but I made these bracelets for a Christmas craft gathering that I did maybe about 3 years ago, but 2 years ago. I'll try to find the video and I'll link it below. I think I did a video share on it. But this too, there's a lot of YouTube videos on the YouTube that show you how to make one of these. Okay, so that is my memory wire. Now my second memory wire bracelet that I made was this one. Now I did use the loops that I got from Beebeecraft, and I wanted to somehow incorporate these trims. So these are crystal trims that I also got from Beebeecraft as part of my haul. So it came in silver and then it came in gold. Okay, now first off, I wanted to use these trims to decorate, you know, like when you have boxes and stuff. I just wanted to use it as a trim to go around my project as such. Okay, and then I saw, I think it was on Pinterest. I saw a project that they use the trim to wrap around a memory wire. And so I wanted to try it. And the one that I saw used a bigger trim. And I think these are called cupped. This is called a closed crystal trim. And I think there's one that says cup. There's a cup trim too. So the cup trim, I think there's more spacing in between the beads. But what I did was I used a memory wire, and then I bent the two ends together, bent the two ends to make the, the stoppers. And then I got my trim, and I got a 22 gauge, 20, was it 22? I think it was a 22. Now I can't find it in front of me. Okay, maybe it's on my other desk down there, but I used I think it was this one. Maybe it was a 24 gauge. Okay, so I used a 24 gauge wire, and what I did was I wrapped the wire around the memory wire. So I wrapped the wire around here, and then I got the trim. I always do things backwards because I'm left-handed, so I always start backwards. So I start wrapping it, and then this took me a long time to do, maybe like 5 hours. Just sitting there doing it. Total 5 hours, I think. So I wrapped the wire in between each one of these little cups. So you see the little space that's between those crystals? Here, you can see it better there. So I wrapped the wire in between each one of those cups, and then I added it to the memory wire. So if you can see, let's see if you're able to see it. Okay, so let's see, maybe this way. Okay, there you can see my wire going around the bottom of the memory wire. So on top here is the crystal trim, and here's the bottom with the wire wrapping around. Okay, so it's really smooth. There is no pokiness to it. What I did with this one was I ran out of wire because it gets really tangled. So I left everything on the spool, but everything got tangled, so I cut the piece of wire. But I should have cut enough so that I could gauge to go around this whole thing. So I ran out of wire, so I had to start a new wire. And if you look really good here, right here, there's a break in my wrapping. Okay, it's not too bad, but I could add a dangle in here, right here in the middle, to cover that up. But if I wear it, I'm sure no one's gonna be able to see it. So you really have to wrap it tightly, but don't pull so tightly because you'll break the chain, and then you're gonna have to start over. But I did have to use my flat nose to help me really pull the wire to tighten the wraps. Okay, but this is how it looks. So it looks really dainty and pretty, sparkly. So I just put a butterfly acrylic charm that I have here, and a wing charm here. Okay, so that is how I use the trim and the memory wire. I started to do the gold, but I need to get the right gauge of gold wire because I was having a hard time with what I had in my stash. So I didn't make a gold one, but the same concept. I made the silver one. Okay, so that is my other memory wire bracelet that I made. And I also saw, and it might have been on Beebeecraft's channel, I saw someone do a like a trim, like an embellishment. So I guess you could use this as flower centers, or even the middle of a bow. So that would be really nice. Okay, so with this I used a 1-inch circle punch. So I used it on kind of a hard cardstock, and then I glued, and I used E6000, and I glued a flat back gem in the middle, and then I went around the gem with the trim, and I used my E6000 around, and I made layers. So I made little layers around the center, see? And when I did the first inside layer, after I went around, I cut it, and then I started a new layer, a new trim layer, and I cut it, and I used the last strand, and then I cut it. Now you would think that I punched out a perfect circle, okay? So, but I don't know, it's probably me. You have to follow around each circle. So I guess when I got to the end, it was a little bit not quite fitting. So I went, just after it dried, I just cut and I trimmed so that you can't see the paper. Okay, so I made this one, and then I made this one. Okay, and then videos ago I made some sequin clusters, and so on this one I decided to use stiff felt. So I glued my sequin cluster onto the middle of the felt, and then I started to use my E6000 and I did the trim around. So I think, as you can see, oh yeah, it's dried now. I was gonna start a second layer, but as you can see, I think the cluster, although I used a perfect 1-inch punch, I think because of all these sequins, it's not, some hangs over, so it's not really a true circle. So putting the trim around it, I think I would just leave it with one trim like this, just to add a little sparkle to it, and then I would go and I would just cut around the trim to finish off my embellishment. Okay, so that is another way that I used the trims. Okay, so I think that's it. I'm gonna come back, and I think I have one more project share for Beebeecraft, and with that one I am going to show you how I made various head pins. Okay, so just a sneak peek. This one is a knot, and this one is a circular. Okay, and I also made another design. Okay, thank you everyone for coming. I want to thank Beebeecraft for a great YouTube program. I was lucky and fortunate and blessed to get some products from BB Trim, and I, on the condition that I use their products to make something, and I can share it with all of you. So I will link that video, so if you're interested in buying any of these products from them, they have great shipping. And I also wanted to clarify, in my first video I did say that any order over $25 ships free everywhere in the world. And so one of my local crafters here, and I live in Hawaii, and although we are part of the United States, we are not on the continental United States. And so there is a disclaimer in their shipping about shipping to Alaska and Hawaii, where free shipping is not, there is no free shipping. But I did talk to, I think, the marketing department of Beebeecraft, and they assured me that when your cart reaches $25, no matter where you live, the shipping will come off, so it'll be free. So I did practice. I did start another cart that I wanted to order from Beebeecraft, and once I hit the 25, the shipping went to 0. Okay, so if you have any problems with their shipping, they welcome emails. There's an email link at the bottom of their site, and just contact them and they will fix the adjustment of the shipping if the computer doesn't take it off for you. Okay, so thank you so much everyone for coming to watch my video and visiting my channel, and I will see you really soon. Bye.